No, not really. I mean, I have to say, I think I was cosmopolitan before the age of the internet, which means that it was a playground before then. I do enjoy an international life because I think there are different cultures that I'm always inspired by. And I think I was talking with a friend last night and from Macedonia, and I was explaining to him why I can understand Macedonian when I read it. And I think it's because I'm open to it. Yeah, so my kind of international background gives me a real openness to things, yeah, a real curiosity for what's out there and why things tick the way they do. I think the other thing with an international background is empathy, yeah, so I feel that I have a really strong empathy for different places. In movies, I can often cry at the drop of a hat because I empathize with the character. But then when I have a look, when I was a little boy, my father also spoke a number of languages, and he explained to me that if you read the same historical event from 3 different perspectives, yeah, German and English or a Russian, you'll get 3 different stories. None of them will be false, but you have to empathize with what each side is going through. And I think that that's something that comes with my international roles or me, you know, living in different places. It depends. Apparently, we don't dream in a particular language. I sometimes tell myself that I dream in German or in Polish or whatever, but I think that's false because I've heard from psychologists that you don't dream, and I also in languages, and I also hear from psychologists you don't dream in color. Yeah, but I dream in color and I dream in language. Communication needs to be a choice. Yeah? So I met with a really interesting guy yesterday. He's one of the creative directors in Publicis Group Slovenia, a guy called Tine. And he was telling me that when he started in the industry, when he wanted to go to the Golden Drum, he didn't have money. So he would come in and he would steal the paraphernalia, just like the things, and take them back home on a train and read them. And then the second year, he really wanted to come, but there was no money, so he called up a local radio station, the shittiest radio station in his village or his town, and he convinced them to give him a press accreditation, just so that he could attend it. Now that's drive and that's passion, yeah? And I think when you have that drive and you have that passion, you then need to channel it into your creativity. A photographer would take, you know, to get one shot, yeah, Annie Leibovitz might take 1,000 photos before she gets that one shot. Hence, we need to, as creatives, come up with 1,000 ideas perhaps before we can actually have one which is good enough for the world to see. And then when we have that one which is good enough for the world to see, we can't just protect it blindly. Many people protect their ideas too blindly. So I don't want to change it, I don't want to change it. That's artists, and they're very valuable, but we need to be commercial artists. Hence, we need to be a little bit flexible. Our work needs to be able to sell. So I think young creatives also have to recognize that they're not God's gift to the world, which is a millennial issue anyway, and that they need to work harder than everyone else. They need to be humble. Yeah, they mean no ego. Humility is a really, really big thing. You know, it's like respecting other people's opinions and working with other people so that your idea, yeah, can grow. And recognize that at the end of the day, when your idea is made, it belongs to a group of people, not just an individual. And I think that's kind of things that I would say to those people. It's really funny. Sometimes you get a little chill down the back of your neck, but then we all have, I think all creatives and all creative directors have something called like an imposter syndrome, which is today is the day everyone will discover I have no talent. So you also worry that your ideas are you know, well, today is the day someone will think it's a really shit idea, yeah? Because we're in a society of people wanting to criticize as opposed to grow. So I know it's a good idea when other people like to build on it, yeah? And that's a really nice thing, yeah, because it allows other people to engage with it. Yeah, if it immediately sparks someone's imagination, then that's great. I think the other thing is, I know it's a big one, if I can see it in their eyes, whether it's either fear, yeah, and that's not because it's a disgusting topic, but fear is like, wow, how do I make this happen? Or sometimes you see in someone's eyes, wow, I wish I'd come up with that. Yeah, there's a real respect in that way. My first Golden Drum was 1995. And I was a very young creative here, and I loved it from the word go. I did get food poisoning from just fish, yeah, but I think I was drinking too much, to be truthful. But it was a very exciting time, and I was talking to one of the organizers her name is Deutsche, and she's been in marketing for many years. She was a marketer before, and she just mentioned the former Yugoslavia for a second, and I thought, after all of the dissolution of Yugoslavia, and particularly with the wars that happened, there was nothing, in the early 90s, there was nothing connecting you anymore except for sadness. And what I think the Golden Drum has done in a beautiful way is, at that time when things were starting to settle down, there was also no money for film. So the money had to come from marketing. And hence the Golden Drum Festival was the very first time, this is my theory, the very first time that culturally the region came back together and culturally met back to talk about ideas and use those ideas for good things. And I find that, for me, the festival has a very emotional history. I think looking at the future, I'm actually quite excited by a lot of the people I met the last few days, particularly from Slovenia and also from the region, because everybody wants to do something good. Yeah, everyone wants to move something forward. And I think all that is lacking now is not a big budget. I don't think anyone's missing a big budget. I think what everyone's missing is a great idea, and that's only going to come from hard work, yeah? And I think the Golden Drum is a wonderful playground for people to be able to interact with others on those topics.